We're calling this season a very special Verses and Flow, and of course we have the Grandmaster General of Verses and Flow, my man. Give it up one time for Prentice Powell, please. Yes, sir. Yes. Welcome back, sir. Welcome
I appreciate
back.
it. Thank you.
Couldn't be a special without the special appearance, but a VIP.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm happy to be here again. You know.
Now, people might think, okay, you know, Prince has been on here, so he's going to be on here again. But you really have to put in work in order to get chosen each season. So how do you up your game each time in order to come with something fresh?
It's a personal challenge. So last season was, can I submit poems that aren't the poems that I typically do? You get what I'm saying? So it's not always about, well, for me, it's not about the dopest poem I have that people haven't heard. Can I take a poem, last season, season 5 was, can I take a poem that I'm happy with, okay with, and make it better because I know I'm submitting it to be on television? And I feel like that creates a different type of motivation and hunger for me to go back to that poem and to work harder at it, which I felt like I was able to do. This season was, can I take a poem I've never done in front of anybody yet that was barely finished when I submitted it, or finish or write a new poem to submit for the show. So this poem I've never done on stage. And for me, that creates that hunger again, that motivation. Can I work when I'm at home? Can I work when I'm at work, when I'm on a plane, flying, traveling, doing whatever, to make sure that this poem is where it needs to be for when I get on stage and do it for the very first time?
Yeah, let me look at this. This is the name of the poem. Yo mama.
Yo mama.
Yes.
Yes, straight up. I was walking down the street and I was just thinking about the strength of my mom. I was thinking about how wonderful my mom is. And I was thinking about how as a child, my mom calls it the dozens. And at my high school, I went to a high school where there's like 4,200 kids. And so if you came wrong or incorrect, clothing, you said something, your haircut, they would get on you. And I was never very quick with the responses, you know, so I have to sit on things and think about them and give a rebuttal. So I was just thinking about all that. So I decided to write a poem in honor of my mother, in honor of, I think, Black women and Black mothers specifically. And it's not only for Black mothers, it's for mothers in general, but obviously I have a Black mother, so that's where my mindset was. But it really, I was thinking about my mother when I wrote it. Yeah.
So people, now what do you do? Like, what is your 9 to 5?
I am a family specialist for a nonprofit in the Bay Area. I work with the top 3% most troubled teens in the county. All of them have severe behavioral disorders or drug addictions, or all in foster or juvenile care. So I'm in and out of group homes. My job is 24/7 around the clock. I could be in the street trying to get a kid who's addicted to crystal meth or crack cocaine back home, or, you know, into a rehab program. I could be at a kid's school helping them, you know, keep themselves together in the classroom.
So how do you separate? Like, how do you leave the work at work and then flip your mind in order to start writing more poetry?
I think the reason why I have the job I have now, because it's a gift. I feel just like with what I do with poetry, I've been blessed with the gift to be able to speak and articulate myself in the way that I choose to. With working with these kids, I think it's a gift. I can identify and relate. And because I actually care about my job. You know, I care about trying to help somebody. And for me, I find a lot of solitude in my job because I have my own issues. And so working with other people who are working through their issues kind of makes me feel more comfortable, which is exactly like the reason why I do poetry. Is because I can get on stage and say how I feel, and somebody tell me they can relate. I feel like I'm not alone. So honestly, it's selfish again. And I said, I'm a selfish poet, I'm a selfish writer. So it's all therapeutic. So it's all kind of tied together. So my job is my job though. You know, so when I'm at work, I do my job. When I'm off the clock, I'm not doing my job. I'm doing something else. So I'm good at separating the two.
You will forever be intertwined with this show,
right,
with this platform, on this network, whatever. So whenever people think of Versus and Flow, they're going to think of you because you're always going to be one of the performers that were a part of it. What do you think will be your legacy and the legacy of Versus and Flow?
I've never thought about my legacy, honestly. I'm too busy still trying to create one. You know, so I don't really spend much time, and I think I think there's liberty and freedom in that. And I think the legacy for Versus and Flow, it's the same. It's a platform. It's an opportunity. It's something that we can look back on and say that, you know, we were a part of that, you know, and we can look at things in the future and be like, you know, there's a possibility that we influenced, you know, what's going to happen in the future, that we influenced the next amazing group of poets by, you know, them seeing us on television. We gave them a new aspiration beyond just being able to share the poem on stage in their community. You know, we showed them, you know, the treatment, you know, everything. So I feel like Verses and Flow's legacy is definitely stapled within spoken word poetry because of the opportunities that they gave us and the way we as poets capitalized off of them. You know, it's dope. Like, people don't understand how this experience is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Grandmaster General of Verses and Flow, Prentice Powell. Give it up one time!